Black and Jill Foster here with your next PB&J card class. Today I'll be combining several new penny black background stamps and Tsukineko Versamagic inks, as well as this clear set by Penny Black called Bugsy and Owlie, to create a set of 6 ATCs. And as I created this video, I wanted to kind of share with you my process when I make several ATCs like this. So to begin with, I do all of the background stamping. So I'm starting here with my Penny Black stamp, and I'm using Versamagic ink, and I'm just inking that stamp. And I love this Versamagic ink. It's a sort of a chalky, opaque pigment, and it gives a powdery finish, even on dark paper. So you'll see here I'm using a variety of mix and match cardstock. And I'm just pressing that cardstock directly onto the stamp, holding with one hand and then rubbing with the other. And you'll see what a beautiful impression that makes. So that was on the colored cardstock, but I also want to use this on white. So I'm just re-inking my stamp before I use it again. And then I'll stamp this onto white. And this color that I'm using is called Sea Breeze. And it just gives this really nice sort of turquoise, light blue stamping. So now I'm going to use the Cloud White Versamagic ink, and I'm going to stamp this onto colored Penny Black Mix and Match cardstock, and this is going to give a very subtle, almost ghost-like stamping onto this colored cardstock. So when I lift this up, you'll see here what a beautiful, subtle look that is. Now here I'm going to use Penny Black background stamp that has a lot of sort of negative space that stamps, and this is where this ink works really well because it gives that great coverage. So now I'm using the color Red Magic, just making sure to fully ink the stamp, so patting it down several times. And then I'm going to stamp this onto yellow paper. And with this red, I decided to put a piece of scratch paper down as I hold with one hand and rub with the other. And with this type of stamp, you want to make sure you press evenly and push on all the areas. And when I lift, you'll see what great coverage you get with that red ink onto the yellow paper. And you can really imagine all the different varieties you could create with that look just by altering the color of paper you stamp on. So now I'm using Versamagic in the color of Sage, inking up my stamp, and then pressing it down. Now this ink does take a little bit of time to dry, so if you wanted to emboss this, put like a clear embossing powder over the top, you could as well. I wanted a little bit of a softer finish though. And then this is probably my favorite color. This is the Wheat, and if you're ever looking for a nice light neutral background, this is a fantastic color. So this one I decided to stamp onto white. And when I lift, you'll see just what a great look that wheat color gives and what fantastic coverage you get. Now, I cut all those into ATC size, and I wanted to show you here that you can also use these inks to sort of distress over the top of your stamping. So I wanted to tone down those flowers. So I'm using that same color of Red Magic with a sponge applicator, and I'm just tapping it onto the ink, starting off the edge and working my way on, and you can see what a really subtle look that gives. And then I also did another little piece here that I'm going to layer onto another card. So I cut all those backgrounds into ATC size, and then the leftovers I used to layer on top, and I did that with washi tape and stamping. So as I stamp these, you'll see each layer that I've created where I've added some washi tape and even a little strip of purple mix and match cardstock. And now all of the stamping I'm going to do is from the same penny black transparent set. I'm inking it with the Tsukineko Onyx Black VersaFine ink and just stamping onto the ATC. And I'll just clean that right off and move on to my next image. So I decided to do the owl next. And I actually wanted to be able to cut him out and pop him up onto the ATC. So I'm just stamping him onto a little piece of white. So again, this is how I create these projects that have lots of little pieces, like this set of 6 ATCs. I do each part in a chunk. So all the background stamping, I did all the layering, and now I'm doing all of the sort of focal image stamping. And I'm just sizing up here which little bird I want to do. I love these little birds. So I'm going to stamp this one on here. It's also nice that this set has the birds facing each direction. So I'm positioning that on there. And you can see there where I even punched a layer from that background stamping into the circle shape to layer onto the piece. Here I wanted to add the sentiment down below. And these ATCs, once they're finished, they could go easily go on layer onto a card. And you could create a nice set for coordinating set that you could give as a gift. And then I had to use this cute little ladybug. So you can see here where I've punched several sizes of circles and layered them. And I'll stamp on this one. And then I also wanted to add this fun little sentiment that coordinates with that image. And again, all those are from the same set. So once I've done all that stamping, then I go back and do all of my coloring. So I'm using the Tsukineko Memento markers to color. And I'm just starting with my lightest color. This happens to be Cantaloupe. Then I'm adding some shading with the color of Tangelo, just right on top of the yellow. Going back with the Cantaloupe color to blend, so just coloring right over where those two colors meet. And if you get any sort of pilling of the cardstock, you can just dab that. Instead of a stroke when you color, just go ahead and pat the marker where the two colors meet. Sort of pounce it. And then again, one more time with the color Cantaloupe, just to blend it a touch more. So now this color is Angel Pink. And then layered with that, I will be using Lilac Posies. And I use these same colors then to color all of the images, so everything coordinates. There you can see where I'm just blending that where the two shades meet. And there I'm kind of pouncing that color. And then once I had cut out those images and adhered them with pop dots to my ATCs, I added a few finishing touches. So here I'm using penny black corner piece, and I've inked that with teal zeal. And I just wanted to add one more layer of stamping up in this corner to finish this off. And then I did the same thing on this ATC. So again, using that teal zeal memento ink. And then here I'm using another penny black stamp with memento pistachio, just to add a little bit more texture on this ATC. And then one more bit of texture I wanted to add is just sort of like the look of flicked ink or paint onto the ATC. So this is a memento marker in the color of tuxedo black. I'm just spritzing that with water, and then I pick that up with a paintbrush, use a scratch paper to sort of mask off the areas I don't want to get splattered. And then I'm just tapping that paintbrush that has the ink on it in order to flick that onto the page. You can sort of turn it so that you can get the ink or the splatters wherever you want them. And I just continued to do this on several of the ATCs. And this ATC, I just punched a couple of birds. It's actually a Martha Stewart punch. Colored them with those memento markers and pop those up on the ATC. This one here, you can see where that owl's been cut out and popped up. And you can see how I kind of do each step of creating this set almost assembly line style, which saves some time and also helps them to all coordinate. Here's a close-up of a few of those ATCs once they're finished. I thank you so much for watching. For more information, visit the Penny Black website, www.pennyblackink.com, and there'll be a complete list of supplies at the end of the video.